Audience research is based on people and how many people watch TV or listening to radio. I have done this before when I had to create our magazine show, as I had to see how many people watch similar shows that are already running and how I could base my idea on them. Audience data is looking at numbers, and the numbers are about how many people tune in to watch TV or listening to the radio at a certain time. Audience data is secondary research because you have to gain information by researching through other websites. I used Barb when helping me to research this because it gave accurate details of how many people viewed into a certain program and what program was about. This helped me out when making my advert. Audience profiling is looking into a large number of people rather than individual people. You are looking at the lifestyle they have and who you are going to base your advert on for. Audience profiling is primary research, as you have to look into yourself and gather information out yourself. I can look into this when creating the advert by looking at the lifestyle of some buyers who buy the product. This will help me out when making my advert because I can base my idea around them. To help me this, I would use surveys or group discussion. Demographics is looking into the social lives of a population, like their age, then gender and what they like. Demographics is secondary research, as you have to gather information from loads of people so you can narrow your audience. Qualitative techniques would be used because you can find out a lot of information, but you want certain information. Tell me whether I would use a questionnaire or interviews. For demographics, I have used this before when I had to create my music video because I couldn't create something for everyone. I had to narrow down my options so I can create it for a particular group. Geodemographics is like demographics, but it relies more on geography and where the population are from. Geodemographics is secondary research, as you can gather large amounts of information at once when you find where something was popular. Quantitative techniques would be used because you can find out large amounts of information from loads of people. What would use to help me would be group discussions or surveys. I have used this when creating my music video before because I made my idea for people with tough backgrounds, and it worked with the song as well. Consumer behaviour is looking into individual behaviour of people or organisations towards a product. Consumer behaviour is secondary research, as you can get important information from the company or individual people about the actual product. The qualitative techniques would be used because you would want to find out detailed information on a product and how well it has done. To help me, I would use interviews and questionnaires. People's reactions or behaviour towards something is important, so I will have to see how people react to other adverts, then I can base mine with a few ideas of theirs. This will help me when making my advert. Consumer attitudes is when a person feels either happy or angry or upset about a product. It can have an effect on the sales of something if something doesn't have a good reaction on the audience. You would want to make good sales, so you want to make something look really good. Consumer attitudes is secondary research, as you can tell if a product has a good effect on people through their attitude. Quantitative techniques would be used because you can get loads of information from loads of buyers to see if a product is either good or bad. To help me, I would use surveys or group discussions. Many Cadbury's adverts have made people happy, so I can maybe take creativity ideas from them and put them in mine. An advert will get noticed if it is different and unique. Audience awareness is when you have to be aware and keep the audience on your mind when creating a product. Audience awareness is primary research because you have to create something for the viewers, but you have to keep the audience in context all the time. Qualitative techniques because you would want to get exact detailed information and create something for the audience. To help me, I would use surveys or group discussions. To help me, I would have to look at other adverts that my audience watch and see what they are aware of throughout. Then when I know, I can create something they enjoy. So my idea will be unique and different. Market research is looking into a product and investigating if there is a high demand for the overall product itself. They can use this to then create data about the product. For future purposes, I can use this to see which chocolate is most popular by looking into data which has already been collected. Then I can use this chocolate and make an advert for it and then hopefully make loads of sales. Product market is all about looking into the market and seeing where your product is and how it is doing. Secondary research would be used because you have to see where a product is based in the market. Quantitative techniques, because I need to know where the product is and who it is sold to. To help me, I would use surveys. I can use product market to my advantage to look into the market on where the product is sold, then develop an advert helping out the product so it'll be able to make more sales and hopefully go worldwide. Competition is looking into companies and how you're competing against each other. The method would be secondary research because you may have competition about a product and you want yours to be the best. Qualitative techniques would be used because you want to know particular information about your competition, and you want to beat them in the market as well. To help me, I would observe the opposition. I've used this before when I had to listen to other people's ideas about their music videos and also tell mine. If I didn't have information that they may have told me, I could have used their ideas in mine and helped my product out. Competitor analysis is looking at the strengths and weaknesses of all your competition. Primary research is the method because you have to look into the product and see what they are strong and also what they are weak with. Quantitative and qualitative techniques would help because you want to find out a lot of information, but you also want it to be very specific to help you out beat them. To help me, I would have group discussions because you could find out a lot of information. I've used this before when I done a group discussion with my class because I listened to ideas from them and I used them in mine. And I've also found out their strengths and weaknesses. Advertising placement is where you place your advert on either TV or radio station at a certain time. Secondary research is the method because you have to look into TV and see when it would be appropriate to air your advert. Qualitative techniques would because you have to be exact with your choice of time and it has to be okay with all ages if it is early. To help me, I could do a questionnaire or observe the TV. I can use this in the far run to help me out when designing the advert because I will know if it is appropriate for a certain time and for a certain age group. Advertising effects is all about the effects that an advert can have on you, if it makes you happy or sad. Primary research is the method because you have to use your own unique ideas to create something that will win effects on the audience. Qualitative techniques would be used because it has to be quality work to have an effect on the audience. To help me, I can observe other people's work. I have used this in our music video before. I use effects like black and white to change the mood of our music video. It made it very unique and it had an effect on the people that watched it. Production research is looking into what you need to make something a success. I've used this when creating the magazine show. We had to make sure that we had everything ready so we can start straight away and get everything done. Content is very detailed because it is all about what is going into the advert. It being people, certain clips, the chocolate bar itself, it's very exact. Primary research is the method because you have to create what you want throughout your show. Qualitative techniques because you have to get exact content that will suit your audience. To help me, I could use questionnaires or observe other adverts. I've done this before when making a music video and the magazine show. We had to come up with our own ideas on what is going to be included in the video. We had to be very exact with our work. Viability is whether something can actually be done to make it a success. Primary research is the method because you have to get everything yourself to make your advert work. Qualitative techniques would be used because you can see from other adverts and see what they use to make theirs work. A questionnaire could help me out when looking for this information. In our music video, we picked people that could help us out, but they ended up not helping. But luckily, we had backup plans, so our idea was always viable. So we didn't have to worry about if people pulled out like they did. Placement media. This is all about buying a placement on TV or radio to have your show aired, advert aired. Secondary research is the method because you will have to design it to suit a certain time of the day. Qualitative techniques will be used because you want to find out specific information and entertainment for it to suit at a certain time. To help me, I could observe other people's ideas. When designing the magazine show, we always had to have this in our mind because we had to consider if something was generally appropriate to be aired at a certain time and for a certain age group. Finance is dependent on a person or loads of people with a large amount of money for something to be made. Primary research is the method because you are independent and not relying on anyone else. Qualitative techniques would be used because it has to be a certain thing that is paid for. You can't just go around buying anything. To help me, I would have to observe what's bought and what's not bought. When making the advert, we can pick someone who is reliant to be our financer so they don't spend money whenever they want. Costs. Costs include everything that you need to get something done, that being props or people. Primary research is the method because you need to be independent and get things yourself or get other people to do them for you. Qualitative techniques would be used because you have to think about quality rather than quantity. You would want quality props or quality people to help you out. To help me, I could observe the people and what products we need for our props. With the advert, costs will always be involved because we have to think about the location, props and the product itself. We have to be very exact with our money. Technological resources are what resources that are there and affordable. Secondary research because you need to use the resources to help you out. Qualitative and quantitative techniques will be used because you need to use the resources on certain days and maybe for a really long time. To help me, I could use a survey to see when everything is available and when everything is not available. When making a magazine show, I had to hire out cameras to do filming when I was outside of school, and also IMAX when I needed to edit when I was in school. Personnel. Personnel is people that are included in the process of making an advert. Primary research is the method because you have to ask the people to help you out throughout the advert. Qualitative techniques will be used because you want quality to help you out rather than loads of people helping you out. To help me find out these people, I could use interviews and also surveys. When creating the magazine show, we had to look at all the jobs that are included when doing so. So I could get people for certain jobs and they can help me out with my advert. Locations is looking into locations and whether it will suit my whole advert. Secondary research because I will have to research if the location is available and also if it is okay for my advert. Qualitative techniques will be used because it is particular information about the location that I need to find out. To help me, I could observe the location that I am looking at. I've done this a few times, once with my music video and once with a magazine show, because I had to see if a location was available and whether it would suit the ideas that I had in my mind.